So here's the big question. How are entrepreneurs like us, who have been hustling and struggling to make it to success, who seem to make it one step forward only to fall two steps back, who are dedicated, determined, and driven? How do we finally break through and win? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answers. My name is Brian Kelly, and this is the Mind, Body, Business Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mind, Body, Business Show. Have a very, very special treat for you tonight. Not just one, but two amazing people will be joining. In fact, I'm not even going to tease you about it. I'm going to bring on a very, very dear friend of mine. His name is Jason Nast, and he's coming on at this very moment. So everyone, welcome to the show. Hey. The one, the only, Mr. Jason Nast. How are you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, terrific. Thanks for inviting me on tonight. I am super excited about today's show. Really excited about it.
Absolutely. So am I. And, Jill Lublin, who is the scheduled guest for the show, is coming on. She will be on in a little while. And until she shows up on our stage, we are going to have some fun. And we're going to talk about a little bit of reflection over past publicity types of strategies and marketing. Why? Because it's right down the path of what Jill Lublin is expert in. So is this gentleman to my left, to your right on the screen. And by the way, I want everybody to know, see that beautiful red and white logo above Jason's left shoulder on the upper right? That is his company. That is the company called The Big Insider Secrets. And Jason and his company sponsor our show each and every week, amongst other things, including a masterclass that I put on. And with this, if you stay on live to the end, you will have the ability to enter to win a 5-night stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Once again, all compliments of this gentleman and his company, The Big Insider Secrets. So do you want to stick around? I'll let you say it this time. These are legitimate vacation stays. In other words, you're not going to go to a resort and they're not going to take you down into the basement and water torture you for 3 hours without a timeshare. No, How do we know that? Well, Jason, take it away.
I'm a traveler. I love to travel, as you well know, and so I invested in a company a long time ago that helps me travel the world, and I pre-buy a lot of places all around the world, and I personally have been to 4 of the resorts. They're absolutely amazing, and I just love it. I've been to the resorts down in Mexico, one in Florida, one in Las Vegas, and they're just great. I took my daughter down there just for a week, and lazy river, private beach, gorgeous resorts. It's just wonderful, and we'll hook you up because if it's something that's good enough for me, I want it to be good for everybody else too. So,
yeah, fantastic. And how much was the timeshare that they pitched on you?
Well, the only time I ever did a timeshare thing at any of these things was another one I was with my daughter, and she wanted the free bottle of tequila, and that, as you know, is like you say, you take you in the basement and water torture you. So we don't do that. There is no timeshare requirements, nothing like that. Some of the resorts, like for example, just blanked up the name, Westgate Resort up in Vegas. It's a hotel, it's a resort. It also has a timeshare component. So they may offer you a bonus or something if you want to do it, but it is not a requirement. It is all we cover all the costs of the hotel itself, and then basically all you have to do is cover the resort fees and any taxes. But we cover the hotel itself expenses for you. So we like I say, we want you to have a good time and relax. This is what I love to do. As you know, Brian, I've spent the last 10 years or so kind of designing my life so that I can travel more every year, more and more. Last year, the goal was 7 months out of the year. This year, we're pushing for 9 months out of the year. So we're hoping to continually travel for about 9 months. So,
and I can attest to that. You're not only a traveler, you're an island shopper. You're literally on the road as we speak. You're coming to us from a hotel in Texas somewhere, and that is not where you currently reside. And so you live the truth. You say what you say. Yeah, and you're gonna be amazed about who's watching us right now, Jason. So check out your screen.
Hey, Tim, how you doing? I'm unfortunately I'm about 4.5, 5 hours from you, Tim. But hey, great to see you, man.
He says 10 years. That is when I met you both. Yes, it was 10 years ago.
True, yeah,
amazing.
Crazy,
we were just talking
stuff.
about some stuff. Yep. Hashtag Texas. I love it.
Hashtag Texas. Yeah. It's warm here. We've been through some winter snowstorms on east of here. It's crazy.
Yeah. So just to reiterate for those coming on a little bit later, we will be bringing Jill Lublin on. She's coming on next, and Jason's going to hang out with me, I hope, and be my co-host for this show. And there's so many things I want to say about this amazing guy sitting to my left, but to your right on the screen. He is a dear friend of mine, as I opened with, and this guy, he's one of the first people I ever met in the entrepreneur sphere who had this unbelievable positive attitude no matter what came his way. And believe me, this guy's been through hell and back at times in his life, but never wavers. I'm sure he's a human being and felt it at times, but he always...
I feel nothing.
He always rose above it, and that was rare to see an individual do this, at least from my vantage point. And that went a long way with me, and I decided, I want to be like that. I don't want to let these circumstances control my attitude anymore, because this guy named Jason has figured out how to do it. And then, like Tim said, we all met about that time 10 years ago, all of us.
Right. Yeah.
And became fast friends with you. You were instant, easy guy to be a friend with. And we ended up sharing a room at a hotel at one event.
Hey, don't tell everybody. Rumors will start.
It's funny. It's something I swore I'd never do as a grown adult, but because you're more like a brother to me than just a friend. So it was not a big deal at all. And we had a great time. And just want to tell everybody out there, this guy is one of the most golden hearted guys you'll ever meet in your life. He's always been there. He's got my back all the time. One of the most unbelievably dependable people. And I don't mean that in a boring way. It's actually in the opposite than that. I just want to let everybody know that this is a brand new year, 2022, and you cannot do wrong by associating yourself with somebody like Jason Nast. And so when this show is over, or even during it, look him up, reach out to him, connect with him. If you have a business, if you're looking to make money, and it doesn't really matter how or why, he will help you. He knows how to do a lot of different things. He's in real estate investing. The guy's done so many different things, so diversely talented, and he's good at making money. He knows how to do this. He's very good at it. And so if you ever need help, just reach out and touch this man. And it's okay to touch him. He's okay. He's okay with that. Absolutely. So yeah,
we appreciate that. Thank you so much. It's been a distinct pleasure to know you and Tim and just know you guys for so long. And it is true, fast friends, and it's a brotherhood. It truly is, and I'm grateful for it. Matter of fact, it was a little over a year ago that we spent 3 days building mastermind classes out in another hotel. We went to Vegas for that. And this is the kind of thing that supportive people do. It's funny. We talked about this once before on your show, on a previous show. And we talked about people who have like bridal showers and baby showers. And we think that there should be entrepreneurial showers where people get together when you're starting a business and do whatever they can to support you. Bring copy paper, bring some pens, bring some markers, and support your business. And I truly believe that in life, that you have to support each other's businesses and help them kick off in a real positive way. So I'm always here for you anytime. And that's for you, Brian, but it's also for you, the listener. If there's anything I can do to be supportive of you, I'm here for you, because that's what I love to do. It's just a passion of mine.
And it's authentic. He means this authentically. I mean, he will, to a fault, help people at times. I think you're getting better at that, because things happen. People take advantage of. I've been there too. Yeah. That's why I bring it up. Where you just want to help, and then if you get taken advantage of over and over and over, finally it's like, I need to just stop doing this so much and be more careful of who I help. And if there's a deal to strike, then let's do an exchange of value. Money for services or whatever, and let them have some skin in the game so that doesn't happen as much. But Jill Lublin is going to be coming on and joining us here in a little while, and she's an amazing publicity expert, author, We'll intro her when she comes on. And in that light, I wanted to go down the path. And this was Jason's suggestion, which he's a guy's a genius. He's brilliant and always helpful. And that is to just start discussing things about publicity, marketing, what worked in 2021. What do we think may be something to latch onto in 2022? Maybe there's something that started in 2021 that isn't so prevalent anymore. We were having a chat about that before we came on.
Right,
and you're like the ultimate marketer. You always have your ear to what's going on in the marketing world and publicity world. So in 2021, what stood out to you that seemed to work best? And it doesn't have to be anything brand new. It could be old, tried and true. But in your eyes, Jason, what was it that worked in 2021 for either yourself or people you know personally?
Right. Well, as we were talking earlier, and of course, you and I got kind of involved in the Clubhouse scene early on, and that was a huge breakthrough for 2021. I think it may be slightly less so now, but 2021 definitely that took off, and it gave people an opportunity to connect and network. Often you and I were on the same events and same stages as Tony Robbins or Grant Cardone and other prominent players, because it was early adopter type stuff. And I think that there's still some edge there if you're just looking to again, one of the things key to marketing anywhere in any way is value. You've got to bring value first. So if you're just on there spamming, talking about your business, nobody cares. But when you start to bring value in those groups, that's how you get onto stages with people like Grant Cardone and with Tony Robbins and those likes. So being a value in that market, in that Clubhouse market, I think can really help people a lot. But I find this is kind of an interesting thing that I've noticed just recently, and this is what I'm thinking kind of going into the 2022 stage, that I think could be very powerful for some people. And this is, again, that cutting edge kind of thing. I don't know if you've heard of Getter, Gettr.
Just recently, yeah.
So I see Getter as being a kind of a new launch point. Now it's early adopter stuff right now. It's not prevalent in the entire thing, but I'm not getting political, but I'm going to talk just a smidge of politics here.
Understand.
Getter is nice because it's not filled with the complete right. It's not filled with the complete left. What it is just filled with people. It's kind of like what it used to be back in the day when Facebook was just a place for people to share things. And there was not a lot of that political kind of stuff going on. I really like Getter for that. I'm kind of just now getting involved in it right towards the end of December, and find it fascinating. I like it. I like it better. It's kind of like a Twitter replacement. And I've been enjoying it a lot. And it's not about the politics of life, which seems that a lot of social media lately has become more political than social, if you will. So I've been enjoying that. So I'm keeping my eye on Getter. I think that's a new thing. And if I can, one more, TikTok. I think TikTok, if you started TikTok a year ago, you were doing really well. I think that it's still in its early growth, and it's a great platform. One of the things I do like about TikTok right now is if you're paying for ad space, you can get really creative on TikTok with ads. They don't even look like ads. I mean, they look like just another TikTok that somebody put up, and people are having a lot of fun with that. And I've seen that quite a bit. So I think if you're paying for ads, I personally am spending more money on the TikTok side of ad spend than I am in Facebook and Instagram and things like that. I think those are kind of burned out in that sense. They're also very expensive, and TikTok's not. So I think those are the three that I'm looking at right now. Clubhouse, I've kind of let that fall behind. I haven't been real active there, but in the TikTok world, and then again, Getter, I'm really keeping an eye on that for 2022.
I appreciate that. Yeah, Getter, I've just heard. I've never jumped onto it. I just recently, I think yesterday is the first time I ever heard of it. And it was in the light of politics, the same thing. And, I'm hearing more and more and more reports of people getting banned just for making comments on either Facebook or Twitter And then they'd say, look, it was actually, I copied and pasted this from a government website.
Right.
And they still get banned. I'm like, this is getting a little bit crazy. Okay, more than a little bit. And so I'm a big, huge proponent of alternative means and methods to freely and openly communicate, as long as it's done with respect and it's not, the usual mayhem that juvenile type things that go on that we're all too aware of. So I'm glad to hear about Getter. I'm going to actually check that out. There's so many. Yeah, the politics is, it seems like so much these days has become politicized that wasn't before. Social media, even YouTube, even Google, I'm hearing reports of certain content being blocked, even if you search for it and know it exists. And it's just crazy what's going on. And so I'm really glad to hear about these, what I'll call upstarts coming up that are helping to give a more just a level playing field for all. Like you said, left, right, doesn't matter. You can give your opinion. And as long as we're all respectful, let's just let's bring it back the way it was. Freedom of speech. I'm a fan of it.
I am too. And if you have if you get onto something like Getter, now again, their advertising platform is not necessarily built out yet, but that's good because first of all, you're not getting inundated by ads like you are in other social media platforms.
Yeah.
But if you're providing value up front, if you're sharing, you're giving value in the content, in the comments, if you're active, like any social media, if you're active in that sense, you're gonna build an audience. And then as that ad engine kicks in, in the early days of Facebook, you could buy ads for pennies and build your audience. Back then you were building pages, you wanted to build your page volume up. I think I'm, again, Getter is that one. And something we haven't talked about, and you're very good at this, you're much better at this than I am, but LinkedIn is still a beast that's, I think, unrecognized by it's got a lot of people active, but it's not seen as that place to build business from. It's mostly a lot of people there posting their resumes, looking for jobs or looking to hire, but there's a lot of opportunity there as well, I believe.
And you're absolutely true and correct. And I've been using LinkedIn more towards the last half of last year than ever before, and doing it successfully. And a tip for those that are in business, looking for business, not for a job, you can use LinkedIn without any of the additional payments of Sales Navigator and all the other things. And one of the key elements is doing what are called LinkedIn events. And I'm not going to go down and give every detail, but what you can do is fill master classes or webinars or whatever it is you're promoting. As far as you could be teaching something that's value-based only. That's what I do. I don't sell anything on my master class. And I have a call to action where people can come on and talk to me directly for an hour, and I still sell them nothing, zero. But that has been successful, very successful, as far as getting high quality, targeted individuals who, and it's free. It costs nothing. So LinkedIn is definitely a gold mine, and I hope more people take advantage of the reason it is because people on LinkedIn are already business based. On Facebook, some of them may just be showing you what they're eating that night, and they're not having nothing to do with the business. And so there's a big dilution of who is in business on Facebook versus who is on LinkedIn. And same with Twitter, takes it even farther down the rabbit hole as far as non-business folk. It's a lot of celebrities and other types that tend to go there. But yeah, LinkedIn, that's a great addition. What about, so there's this really old technology. You remember, Jason, driving down the road, maybe you've been into an old pickup truck, like a 1960 vintage, something in the 60s, and you want to go play a song, and you look to the dash because you can't do it on the phone. There's no Bluetooth connection. And you look on the dash, and there's these weird little like round knobs and square buttons to push. And you turn that on, and it had this antenna that didn't go up automatically. It was always sticking up there. And it would bring in something called radio. Right?
Yeah. I'm very familiar with the radio market. Yeah.
And then later, as technology grew, there was this thing that came up called podcasting, which today, if we were to fast forward to today, from when podcasting first became prominent, I look at podcasting as that truck's radio of today. It's been around a long time. It's audio only, and it's all recorded, not live. And I have personally, I don't know if you've seen it, but I've seen a massive resurgence of podcasting. And I've seen many business owners using podcasting successfully to build their business. What's your take on that? What's your experience been?
I think it's brilliant, and it's interesting because I have a big background in radio and in TV and ad spend and ad marketing and things like this. And it's actually fascinating that today you're seeing podcasts actually overtaking TV and radio as far as market share. There was a phenomenal post the other day, and I know this is kind of patting himself on the back, but Joe Rogan shared that his show is actually outranking all of the top news shows, ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, but his show alone, and I know he gets a little political sometimes, but the key to this is that a podcast is, I'm not talking about by a little margin. I'm talking about a huge margin that his show is more popular, getting more downloads, more viewers. And that's happening not just in somebody like Joe Rogan, but just anybody can be. I mean, I don't know if Tim is still listening right now, but Tim has a podcast, and his podcast is amazing. He's been doing it for years. This is a kind of thing where you can grow a small niche business. And my dad always used to say, on the internet, no one knows you're a dog. And he had this little image of a dog on a dating site talking to a cat. It said, on the internet, no one knows your dog. But the reality of it is, on the internet, you are equal to Coca-Cola, to Ford, to SpaceX, to Tesla. No one knows how big or small you are if you do like your show is a professional show. It's wonderfully organized, tremendous automation in it. This right here is the epitome of a professional broadcast. And yet you're able to do this for 1/10, actually significantly less than that, of the cost of a Fox News show or things like that. And we have people who have done broadcast TV shows, news type shows that we're mutual friends with. I think podcasts are an amazing opportunity right now. I really do. And if you're not leveraging those opportunities, then I think you're missing out on a big market.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's interesting because it was an actual friend of mine who let me know about that like about 3 years ago. And he asked me, what's your podcast show called? And I said, what do you mean? I don't have one. He goes, you don't have one? He goes, Brian, oh my God, businesses, including mine, are crushing it. I said, really? So I jumped in and took it, as I always do, farther than I should, but it turns out to be a good thing.
It turns out to be a good thing.
Yeah, I made it a live video show. And the reason is, there's so many reasons, but it is truly live. There is no editing that can be performed in real time of what you said, what I said. And it makes it more authentic. And I don't mean to belittle any other podcast to say they're not authentic. I'm just saying when it's live, there's no chance for editing. And I think the energy level is different. You and I are talking together knowing this is live. And the other thing is we have live viewers on also commenting and participating, which you cannot do with a podcast. And so for all those reasons, and there are more, but it also provides what I call 2 more touch points. If you are a business marketer, one touch point is we're live video, audio podcast has been recorded. It's done. The next touch point is the recorded video. So you can repurpose that. Now you can edit it, clean it up if you need to. Rarely do you need to if you structure it properly. And those are 2 touch points you don't have with an audio only podcast. And then you take a repurposing step. You take that video, you extract the audio from it, and now you upload it to your podcasting platform. This is what I do for this very show. We're on 25 different podcast platforms. So I say all that. I was just going to say that. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, you know what? We have the technology. It doesn't cost a whole heck of a lot more money to do the video than it does everything else. And you can reach a much broader base audience if you do it this way because of the 2 extra touch points. So the ROI is beyond ridiculously good. You talked about a mutual person we knew in the networking industry, or the network industry, where this man has stood up multiple radio stations and now a live streaming only TV show that he's been building. Because I did this with high quality, and I'm not patting myself on the back, just letting people know the option of doing live video. Because of that, we struck a deal that could literally be worth millions in a few years for me.
That's incredible.
And it's only because I did this. And Jason, if you remember, who was the very first guest I ever had on this very show?
That was me. That was me.
3 years
and
ago.
I was about to say about that is it's interesting is because the other benefit that a lot of people don't see is that right now you said 25 different channels, but let's just say you're streaming live on Facebook, the graphic you have up here, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, is that Pinterest and Twitch?
Yeah, it was Periscope. It's actually Twitter. Need to update that.
Twitter and Twitch. So you're broadcasting live right now. And the nice part about that is that it's also recorded. So if I happen to stumble on one of your podcasts, one of your video broadcasts that's been recorded and out there, and I like it, I can go back to your catalog and I can see every single one of them. So everything that's relevant today, we're throwing links up or we're talking about specific things, you can go back and get those. And I love that because that lives forever. I especially like the YouTube version of it because YouTube is a searchable index, whereas if your Facebook Live comes and goes, but your Facebook or your YouTube lives on forever. I love that.
Yeah, and a mutual friend of ours, Rick Frischman, I'll never forget one of the things he said from Author 101 University. I think it was in Henderson, Nevada when I heard this. I don't recall if you were there or not, Jason. I do remember other friends.
I've been to quite a few of them. I love it. As a matter of fact, Jill and I met at Author 101.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. I love Jill. So what he said, though, was, he's all about authoring in books, which we all get. That's very, very powerful. That's another great publicity quiver to have or arrow to have in your quiver. But the one thing he said that has always rung true and resonated and lasted forever since he said it was the most important thing we can all do as business owners, as business people, to build our business is to build our platform. And in his case, he was talking about writing books. In addition to that, speaking from stages, getting out there, basically getting more exposure with authority behind it. And so when you have your own podcast, your own live TV show, your own book, you are instantly perceived by others with greater authority than if you did not have any of those. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's like, think about it like this. I mean, you had our friend Les, Mama Brown's baby boy Brown on your show, and you can do that. You can achieve that because instead of going to Les and saying, "Hey, I'd love to talk with you and hear some of your ideas," which is just take. Instead, you provide value and say, "Hey, I'd love to have you as a guest on my show so you can share ideas with the world." That's a whole different concept. When you introduce yourself as a host of a show, whether it be a podcast, a video cast, it changes everything. I fully agree with you that there's so many good opportunities that come just from having your own show.
The authority stack. So a quick story. I remember I was at an event that you and I have been to many of. I'm not going to name who it was, but I remember working as part of the crew at this moment. I was helping out with the event. So I was behind that table in the back where only the crew members can sit. And I remember standing there at the ready for anything that needed done. And this stranger walked in, well-dressed, and just walked into this area that was forbidden in my mind. And I'm looking at him and I'm like giving him that stinky eye, right? Like, what is going on? Why is this dude here? And I'm looking at my crew teammates around the table and nobody's going crazy, thinking, okay, well, they're not upset. So I'll just make sure he doesn't do anything he shouldn't. And as I'm sitting there or standing there, one of the crew members' teammates goes up to him with the mic pack and starts miking him up. In that instant, my perception of that gentleman turned from stink eye to, oh, okay, he's a
stock went way up.
Went from being like this to and so it's true. It is so true that even if you just speak on someone else's stage and no one's ever seen you before or knew your name, because I didn't know this guy from anybody. And instantly I'm like, this guy's got an authority status that I wasn't aware of. And now my whole perception and my emotional reaction to him changed completely 180. It was unbelievable.
That's great. That is.
Have you ever had?
Yeah, and that's very true.
You ever had an instance like that you can recall?
Absolutely. I've gone through this multiple times where I've been sitting someplace, and again, you think the person next to you is not of somebody who you'd want to have association with. And matter of fact, a great story about that is there's a director, John Frankenheimer, an incredible director, old time director, but I was next to him in a car and wasn't really thrilled about him being slow in his car, and may have had some feelings of ill will towards him at one point. And we pulled into the studio. He pulled in next to me and parked and got out. And I was his slave for the next week because of the stink eye earlier. Nicest man in the world, though. But it changes your stature in a minute once you know their authority, once you know that they're in a different position. And this is what you bring to the table when you have a podcast, when you have a live broadcast like you do. I think it's a great opportunity for publicity. One of the things you mentioned earlier with Rick is an Author 101 is the book, is being able to bring that book to market too. It's a great platform. It really is. And I know that Jill will probably talk about this because Jill does help people get into the publishing game and things like that. But a book is a great platform as well.
Speaking of Jill, guess who is in our studio? Oh, waiting to be brought up to the stage.
So was that a great segue or what?
It was perfect timing. I was just grinning ear to ear like, oh, this is going to be awesome. Jill, I'm bringing you on here in just a moment. In 3, in 2, in 1. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jill Lublin is in the house. Yes.
Hey, yes. Jill, how you doing?
Doing fantastic. So good to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. We've been talking glowingly about you. We've been covering topics, covering publicity, book writing, all the things that we know are near and dear to your heart, because it's the perfect segue into what we're going to talk about with you, Jill, because you are an expert and we appreciate you. We both run into you at different times physically at different speaking events, and appreciate you coming on. And Jason, what do you want to say to the wonderful Jill Lublin that you've...
Well, welcome. It's been several years since we've actually been in the same room together. I think that's probably the case for everybody over this whole past couple of years. But it's so great to see you again. And I was sharing with Brian a picture of you and I was looking for it, and he sent it to me and said, yeah, you shared this to me for my master deck. So, I mean... we actually have a picture of us holding up our books at I don't remember what event it was, but it was a while back. It's been a while.
I love that. That's so great to see both of you again, too.
Absolutely. So what do you say, Jason? Let's give her a proper introduction, a respectful one that she deserves. Everybody, Jill Lublin. She is an international speaker on the topics of radical influence, publicity, networking, kindness, and referrals. She's the author of 4 best-selling books, including Get Noticed, there they are, Get Referrals published by McGraw Hill, and co-author of Guerrilla, Publicity, and Networking Magic. Her latest book, Profit of Kindness, went #1 in 4 categories. Hey, there's a commonality here. There's a number 4 here. I like that. In 4 categories, she is a master strategist on how to position your business for more profitability and more visibility in the marketplace. There's more. She is CEO of a strategic consulting firm and has over 25 years experience working with over, get this, 100,000 people, plus national and international media. We're talking powerhouse, ladies and gentlemen. Jill teaches a virtual publicity, I can say it, crash course, and consults and speaks all over the world. She has spoken on many stages with luminaries such as Tony Robbins. We just talked about him. She also helps authors to create book deals with major publishers and agents, as well as obtain foreign rights deals. And you can get a free gift from her. We'll announce that a little bit later. Let me see if I can rearrange this a little bit, bring her up to the top. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. Get her a little bit closer to the top. We'll just keep moving things around and have fun with that. So Jill Lublin, officially formally welcome to the Mind Body Business Show. So great to see you once again. Can't wait.
I am absolutely delighted to be here, and super fun to be with old friends and colleagues. And I don't mean old in that case, but you know what I mean. And I'm delighted to be here.
It's okay for me personally. It's appropriate in either case. Not getting much younger, but that's a good thing. I always look at every year as a victory. So not looking at age is a great thing, because here's one thing, Jill, I wonder if this resonates with you. There's an individual I talked to recently who was catapulted from the working place via a layoff. Extremely talented, extremely experienced, probably early 60s. And he could not find work because of his age. And I thought, oh my God, if I were that entity in need of experience, you would be the first person I would hire. You have the experience. You know, people are worried, well, how much longer are you going to work for us? Well, in today's market, how long do new people coming out of college work for anybody? 2 years, maybe max. Jumping all over the place. So he would be more loyal to that company. He would stick around longer, and he would provide them with instant value. What's your take on that?
I think it's brilliant to hire experienced and good people for the job, period. It's not an age thing. It's not that kind of piece. It is about experience. And I personally think most people in particularly, funny enough, in that age group are dedicated, loyal, and hardworking people.
Yeah.
Unlike some millennials I know. Just saying.
Just saying.
And I've heard that many times. There are some excuse me, I don't know what's going on. I'm recovering from that C word a little bit. Mm-hmm. But there are still some that do work and know the work ethic because they were brought up in a better environment. Right. But anyway, we don't need to go down that path too deep. But I do agree with you, Jill, and I've experienced it too. I'm sure Jason has as well. What I wanted to do is open the show with a little coughing. With the topic of mindset, because that is the name of the show, Mind, Body, Business, because those are like the three pillars of success when it comes to life or business. I like to more hone in on the business side. And what I wanted to do is just to start things off with you, Jill, is to find out, you've been successful for a long time. I've seen you in many speaking venues. Jason's seen you in many speaking venues. You're a player. You're a big name in the industry. And we all know, being astute entrepreneurs, that every day is not an easy day. Every day is not just, get up on our hammock and swing back and forth with an umbrella drink because the money's just rolling in. It doesn't work that way. So what it takes is a very interesting, unique, and different mindset that you have. So for you, Jill, every day you get up, there's going to be some arduous tasks. There's going to be some things that are fun, but that there will be things that need to be overcome. And when it comes to you, when you wake up in the morning, what is going on in that beautiful brain of yours that's telling Jill Lublin to say, I've got this, we're going to power through, and we're going to crush it again today? For you, what is going on in that beautiful brain of yours?
Thank you. So first of all, I wake up and I say 5 things I'm grateful for, like immediately. And I don't care how I'm feeling, sometimes better than others. What I've noticed, as soon as I start stating that, oh boy, energy starts shifting right then. Okay. But even before I get out of bed, I tend to do meditation, and I do my own form of meditation, and I stay in bed until I've righted myself, I'll call it, just by running through how I feel, bringing in all of my guides, angels, beautiful beings that help support me in my life. And then I do the verbal, by the way, great things I'm grateful for out loud. I don't journal. That's just for me one more thing I don't want to have to do. So I speak it, and that works for me. And frankly, in my day, I have things planned, including myself in my calendar. Wow, what a concept. Yes, I finally got, once COVID hit, that self-care is really important. And I think what I'm saying is, a couple of years ago, it was like, whoa, I better really start putting myself first and take care of myself and increase my exercise and my spiritual development and my meditation and all the places that for me have actually helped my journey. So you will find me in my calendar now. That's a big thing. That took a lot of time to get that going. Let me just say, it actually started a number of years ago. I just think it got stronger when lockdown happened and all that happened. It was like, okay, this is all about self-care. That's what I'm going to do.
I love that you found a silver lining in what was not a very fun thing to go through for all of us. We were all involved. And the cool thing is, man, is that the gentleman that is down here that I'm going to pull up here in just a minute is all about having the perfect mindset, who is always about being positive. I mean, I know of no more positive person on the planet than this guy who's coming up higher on the stage than Mr. Jason Nass. So, Jason, first, what did you think about what Jill just had to say? And what would you like to ask her as well?
It's funny, very similar. I agree 100%. And the routine is first thing in the morning is expressing what you are grateful for. It should begin your day and it should end your evening, because that expression of gratitude will literally set the tone for the rest of the day. So many people, and I've had days where you get up and you stub your toe and it starts off bad. I will go back to bed and reset with gratitude, because that's truly how you have to set the tone for the day. And meditation as well. I specifically plan my mornings to start from bed with a full half hour of meditation in the morning, and it lets me do the things that I want to do. Besides prepping the brain, it gives me cuddle time with the people that I love, with the lady that I love, and with the dog that I love. And we just cuddle and stay in it and stay positive with that, and keep the meditation and keep the energy flowing before our feet touch the floor. And that's absolutely key to it. And really, it is about setting the tone for the day. And I agree. Jill, you said it perfectly. It's just a great way to set things up. And don't forget to end the day the same way, is to take time to appreciate the things you have.
And Jason, thank you, because the truth is I actually do end it in the evening too, unless I totally fall asleep. Occasionally that happens, but I do.
Done that a few times, but
yes, I do it in the morning and at night and 5. And sometimes I got to like search and go, okay, what's that 5th one? Oh yeah, I can walk, I can breathe. I'm standing, I'm living. I'm so grateful for all of that. So, and by the way, I have kitty hug time, I actually call it. And I take kitty hug breaks. I have cats instead of dogs. But no matter what you stop to do, the point is, are you stopping to love someone, love something, or how about like go outside and just take a breath of fresh air, whatever it is. I do think we really have to stop ourselves, because it's so easy. I have a fast brain. I go fast. I think fast. And I think sometimes for me, I'll just say I have to stop myself, slow myself down, and go for a walk, or, take those, when someone cancels their appointments, I go, oh, great, a gift of time. and I just go use it for a walk, or just lay down on the couch, whatever, I think sometimes we're such a productive society, and our Western culture is drive, that we, particularly, I think in the Western culture, have forgotten how to just be.
Yeah, well, from 15 to 45, I was that drive guy. And then I decided, it's time to stop and smell the roses. And I've done that quite a bit lately. It's funny because my lady and I, we get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and go outside and just watch the stars. For no other reason, just to lay in the bed of the truck and look up at the stars and just enjoy it. And that's a powerful thing, because it's just taking that moment where nothing else is important, just to be in that moment.
Oh, I love that.
It's so important for mental as well as physical health, right? To reset and address what you're thankful for. I am thankful that Jill shared this with us, because I love when, other people go through all these courses. I've been through them too. And it's all about, being productive and getting that, like Jill was saying, we're all, think fast, we work hard, and then we forget about what it's all about. And what I love about the fact that both of you, Jill and Jason, two highly successful individuals, have just stated is the importance of hitting that reset button, the importance of doing it daily, and of being grateful about things. And a lot of people would say, oh, that's a bunch of woo-woo stuff. It's like, well, you can either decide to follow the lead of very successful people like Jill and Jason and do what comes and makes it easier. It makes life easier, by the way. It's harder if you don't do this. It eases your mind. It eases your tasks through the day because you've level set the day. You've said, I'm excited to be alive. I'm grateful for everything I have or I'm able to do. And from there, the mind is a powerful, powerful instrument. And we all can take advice from Jill and Jason on this very note to tap into that power and let your brain do a lot of the work for you. It doesn't take that much effort. 5, come on. Here's what I tell people. Model what Jill just said to a T and then modify it to your own needs as time goes on. But at least start. What do you guys think?
Listen, I heard it on Oprah. I mean, she's my hero and one of them. And I remember I heard her say that like 5 things every day. Oh, I'm like, wow. Yeah, I can do that. Right. And I think the biggest thing is just make it easy for you, whatever it is, But I do think that as we give thanks, as we're expanded in our abilities of knowing that we are supported, right? And wow, just even better things keep coming is what I've noticed. And here's the other thing I learned long ago, because I come from a long line of warriors. That's not warriors, that's worriers.
I was going to say, yeah.
And let me just say, listen, I lived like that for a long time too. And I thought one day, like, what the heck is that doing? That's just creating more worry, more anxiety, more all those things, right? And I just decided one day, I think really just, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to live in a world of possibility. And so, even if I figure, it's that old shoot for the moon and you'll get to the stars at least. That's what I'm doing.
Absolutely. So you went from a worrier to a warrior. Oh, there you go.
There you go.
A quote my mentor often shared that I love, I'll never forget. It was, you can either let circumstances control your attitude, or you can let your attitude dictate your circumstances. And I thought, oh, that's beautiful. I'll never forget it. I teach my team about that all the time. Yeah, we all have choices, don't we? We all live these lives. We all go through hardships. We all we get sick on occasion. We all have relationship issues or whatever. We're all human. There's nobody else on this planet that hasn't gone through us. You have, guarantee it. It's just how did they react to it, and how did they get higher in the echelon of business and or personal relationships than you? It's usually, most often, I can't think of any case it's not. It's due to what's going up on that beautiful brain.
That's right.
And it's beautiful, no matter what's going on in there right now. I'm talking to the audience. If you have stinking thinking going on, your brain is still beautiful because you have the power to right that ship. All you have to do is make the decision and just model.
And I think that
is what Bill does.
That's important about it. You're never too old. You're never too young. You're never, like all of that stuff that people tell themselves. The reality is just start where you start with the baby steps that feel right for you, right? Everybody's got their baby steps. So, it's that old thing like, how do you get exercise, right? You just put on your gym shoes and walk out the door.
That's right.
That's the start. And believe me, I've had to do that a few times. All right, put on your gym shoes, get out the damn door. And that, once I did that, was good.
Absolutely. Jason, go ahead.
It's interesting that one of the things that I was talking the other day about is we were talking, Brian, as we were talking earlier about social media, how sometimes things can go down these rabbit holes and people don't treat each other very well. And for the longest time, I would get kind of riled up and you'd get my blood pressure going pretty quickly on that. And it was Gary V who taught me a valuable lesson in that. And he said, when people are on social media and they're spewing venom, he didn't say it that way, but when they're spewing venom, instead of like justifying your position, instead of trying to get them to understand, instead of all of that, have empathy for them, because you have to wonder what's going on in their lives, what's going on in their head that's causing them to be so angry at the world or so angry at you or so angry at whatever the post is. that they feel compelled to spew venom instead of being frustrated with that person. Have empathy for them, embrace them, and say, listen, whatever's going on in your world, it's okay. It's okay. And I think that if the world had more empathy, we'd be a better place. I'm not talking about sympathy here. I'm just talking about understanding, like, hey, I may not know what's going on in your brain, but that's okay. It's okay to have a bad day. And I think that illustrates your point very well.
Well, I think you guys know I wrote The Profit of Kindness, and it was so fascinating to me as I've been interviewing people on this, and I run a kindness community now, where we come together intentionally to practice kindness. And here's the reality: when you are in an energy of even the practice of, right? Like, it's amazing how this happens. It's amazing what happens that people can really just connect to you. And so whatever you're practicing, just do it is the point of it. And one of the things I know, people always talk about practice random acts of kindness. And I'm like, well, wait, can we practice conscious acts of kindness every single day? Do one. Watch your world change. One conscious act of kindness every single day. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Love it. Go ahead, Jason.
I saw a TikTok the other day. It was so amazing. This guy just walked down the street and he was videoing from like a GoPro or something like that. And he basically found people and just said, "Oh my, you have the most amazing smile. Oh my God, that shirt looks great on you." And you could just see everybody beaming from it. It's spreading that kindness, like you said, a conscious act of kindness. And it was inspiring to watch. And I'm just watching it third party at that point, but it was just inspiring. It was really great. I agree with that. I love the idea of conscious acts of kindness every day.
And speaking of kindness, that's exactly what Jill is masterful at doing. Is she helps people to formulate their message by using kindness in it, and to help them to get more business, but using kindness in their life and pull it all together so they can bring their message to the world. So Jill, to take it down the path of what you do, what you're expert of, what kind of advice and tips can you give folks for formulating their message in such a way that it helps to impact the world in a better way?
Yeah, well, I'm a big believer in people and their message. My sort of what I call flagship expertise is publicity with Guerrilla Publicity. And let me just tell you, you can be a well-trained and well-behaved guerrilla. And what I mean by that, and our Guerrilla is Guerrilla, Guerrilla Publicity. And here's the thing, what I know about this is that when you have a great message, and I know that those of you watching this do, you have something you care about, you have something you want to put into the world, and your message does matter. And as we get a message that's powerfully focused and gives value and benefit, you should always be giving value and benefit, then what happens is you're able to create your publicity which gets you the 3 M's. I love M&M's, so I added a third, M&M, which is magnetize, monetize, and multiply. And that's what publicity does for you. And so imagine this, you put your work together into a message that formulates and enables people to understand what you do. Then you're able to give your gift to the world. And it attracts people to you. It's a natural, wonderful magnet for possibilities for your business. That's what publicity does.
Jason, this is down your line, brother. You're the publicity guy, former radio host. I mean, this is, we're talking to the queen of publicity right here. I almost said king.
Well, and should I go get my tiara? I do have one. It's close by. Every girl needs a crown. You know what I'm saying? That's right. And the kings need one too.
Well, and I know that from our experience, Joe, you're just amazing at it's the magnetic part of what I want to highlight that about you is because when you're in a room, you are a magnetic personality because you have that kindness, because you have that great welcoming smile, because you're open to people, you bring them into you. and you're very value-based in what you do. So I love that you talked about magnetics in marketing, because a lot of people think about marketing, a lot of people think about monetization, but they really have to think about that magnetic, how to attract those people into your life, not just go out there and knock them down and force feed them your business card or your book or whatever, but to actually have them attracted to you so that they come to you and share that. And you're as Brian said, you're a queen at that. It's great.
Well, here's the truth. When you walk in a room, and this could be a Zoom room, just put a darn smile on your face. Well, how hard is that? And the funny thing is, when you start to smile, you will actually feel it. And that's been physiological or scientifically proven. And so all of a sudden you do start to feel more happy, and that you can really change your state just by smiling. And I think that that's something that people forget. And sometimes it's just because we're all in our head and trying to think about whatever we're thinking about, or consumed with, with what we're consumed about. So something as simple as that smile and that connection with people, which can be done on Zoom. We're all feeling it. I'm feeling you guys. I hope you're all feeling us out there, right? You can feel people and their energy. And so I think that's really important to understand, that you bring it every time you're somewhere. You got to just bring it. And that makes a world of difference.
It's interesting. And actually, studies done on this where you'll see a bunch of pictures of people, kind of like the Brady Bunch, are all stacked on each other on a page of paper, and you'll see different ages and both genders, and different attractiveness of everything. And then you would be asked, which of these people would you be most likely to trust inherently? And every single time it was that one in that whole page that had a slight smile on their face, regardless of how attractive they were. And it's amazing. And what about this though, Jill? It's easy to smile. How important is it for those out there listening to be authentic with that smile, to not just fake that smile, to actually pull in the emotion that makes that smile come about? Is that important as well?
Well, a couple of things. One is I'm always big on your message, particularly being authentic and resonant to who you are. Here's the thing about smiles. They are true no matter what. I'm not talking, right, don't do that fakey smile stuff. But, occasionally just remember to smile. It's just amazing that people forget it. And that includes when you're talking. You notice I am doing it now. I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm smiling through my words. Number one, I'm happy. And why not, right? But I do think people forget to put, literally, it's such a simple thing, that smile on your face. I'm not talking Pollyanna, I'm talking for real. But just remember to do it every so often, because we can get kind of serious. And especially in your work and, whatever, people are just thinking in their thoughts, and they forget that there's somebody out there who is a receptor to what you're putting out there.
And it also translates over. You're talking about Zoom. It also translates over even if you're not visually seeing it. One of the things I used to have is a mirror. We did it for a call center, a mirror that said, what you see is what they hear. And putting that mirror on a call center desk in front of every technician increased customer service ratings in a very short period of time, just because people were looking in the mirror all the time and they all knew to smile. And so, and with any type of a video cast, like a broadcast like we're doing, when it gets converted into a podcast, people hear that smile. They hear it and they know it.
Thank you. I love that. It's so true. They can hear your smile and your all the emotion, so to speak, behind it. I know we're coming toward the end here, so I want to make sure.
Oh,
yeah, I wanted to absolutely. I was just going to say that. Thank you, Jill. You're right on cue. Almost like you're a professional at this. I'm just saying.
She's so good.
Amazing. Yes. So I understand you had a gift you would like to impart upon the audience. So I wanted to quickly pull that up. If you're okay with quickly going over what that is for folks, I so appreciate you doing that.
Absolutely. Well, I'm always delighted to share even more value with all of you. And so I put together a free gift. It's publicity tips. even more than what we're talking about here. Just really get her done. Great publicity tips. How you get that is you go to publicitycrashcourse.com/free gift. It's there up on the banner, and please go check it out. In there, you'll also get invited to a free live interactive publicity class with me. So let's meet you on Zoom and get you in the news with real things that you can do right away. See you there.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And we have another gift as well by our very own Mr. Jason Nast, who is sponsoring this show. And that is that 5-night vacation stay at a 5-star luxury resort. Before we do that, Jill, I want to quickly say there's one last question I like to ask all of my guests. It's a wonderful question. It's very profound. It can be deep, a little bit personal. But I've asked it of, oh my gosh, I'm over 160 shows into this. I don't even know where I'm at anymore, but it's been amazing. Before I do that though, real quick, as I promised everyone, I want to announce how they can enter to win that prize, and then we'll jump right back and go with that phenomenal question. So on the screen, I hope this will show up properly. There it is.
There we go.
Everyone watching live, for a very brief moment, you can take your gaze away and enter this URL into your phone or browser on a website, and it is ryp.im/vacation. Again, that's ryp.im/vacation. And all you'll be asked to do is enter your information there. You will automatically be entered to win, and we will announce the winner at the end of the show. Once we're done, we'll put it up on Facebook, all that good stuff. And looking forward to see who wins. Good luck to everyone. And now we're going to come back to the woman of the hour, Miss Jill Lublin. I thought I was going to, and then my did that fun thing. So, Jill, there's a couple of things I wanted to also say about this question, and that is the beautiful thing about it is there is no such thing as a wrong answer. It doesn't exist. In fact, it's just the opposite. The only correct answer is yours. And that is the only thing that makes it personal. It's really more, it's just unique to you. It's not really personal. It's just unique to you. And so with that, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I love it. I knew you would say you were ready. Okay, I'm going to set the table here. Got to make it look good for the woman of the hour.
Should I put a flower in my hair at this point?
That'll work. There you go. All right, here we go. Jill Lublin. How do you define success?
Ooh, big question. Okay, couple things. One is in terms of freedom. You know, can I do the things I love to do daily? Am I having, I call it fun and giggles at least once a day? Do I have great friendships and love in my life? Am I making good money so that I can enjoy and do what I love? And do I love what I do and do what I love? Which, by the way, I do. So that helps. And success, I think, is multi-pronged. So, you know, for me, I do measure it. I think you can know what's true when you measure things. So I do have some ways to measure success. And then there's the intangibles. Like, how am I feeling day to day? How's my health? How's my heart? How's my how's the kindness in my life? And all of these things I look at. So I look at it as a whole, and I measure what I measure, and then I frankly don't worry about the rest. And just let it be, let it flow. Am I flowing? That's fun too to measure. Even, you know, am I responding to the things that call me? That's what I like to say. And so for me, life is a lot about inspiration. Am I inspired to do this? Am I not? And of course, I have a lot of obligations, so to speak, but that's why I'm very blessed, and I am successful, and I call it success because I do what I love, and I love what I do. And that's the bottom line.
That is an amazing bottom line. That is what I love so much about that question. Is it is definitely unique to each individual. I've been doing this for quite some time, and that's why I asked this question, because no two people yet, knock on wood, no two people yet have answered it the same way. That's what's so beautiful about it, because as human beings, we are all so beautiful, as you are, Jill. Can't thank you enough for spending the time with us here tonight. Jason, my goodness, brother, I can't thank you enough ever. You're always there for me. I appreciate you. You are my brother. I don't care what my dad says. But Jill, if you don't mind, hang on for just a little bit once we sign off, just for a quick debrief. I'd appreciate that if you have the time. If not, I understand. But I always want to say deep appreciation for you, Jill, for coming on and sharing this wonderful time with us and spreading your value, your wisdom. The things you said in the opening are going to help so many people. I'm confident of that. So I appreciate you for living true to yourself and for being authentic with all of us. Mad respect.
Thank you, Jill. It's amazing being with you again. I appreciate that so much, and so good to see you.
All right. That is it. Our show has come to the end. On behalf of this amazing man who's now over on this side, Jason Nast, I am your host, Brian Kelly of the Mind Body Business Show. That is it for this show. So until next week, we will be live once again with another phenomenal guest. Until then, we'll see you. Be blessed. Take care. So long. Thank you for tuning in to the Mind Body Business Show podcast at www.themindbodybusinessshow.com. My name is Brian Kelly.